Lua is a pretty popular scripting language for creating games. As I've mentioned in my What is Lua video, a bunch of AAA games like World of Warcraft, Angry Birds, Roblox has been built in the Lua programming language, and also has support for mobile apps with a lot of different libraries, stuff like the Corona game engine, which eventually I will cover in a later video. But let's say you're just starting out. If you want to make a simple little game with Lua, you probably want to look at the Löve2D game engine. And that's exactly what I will be talking about today. Löve2D is a very easy to use game engine for the Lua programming language, and you can learn all about it right here at löve2d.org. This website will show you how to download and install it, a few examples for getting into the actual game engine, and then my favorite part, if you click Wiki right here, it takes you to documentation for the Love module, which is where the entire namespace of the Löve2D system comes into play in the Lua language. So here's all the documentation and whatnot for everything inside the Löve2D game engine. It's pretty useful. Okay, so let's start doing a little Löve2D programming in Lua, just to show you guys a little bit of what it's going to be like. Now, I've already gone over the language itself, but I will be showing off a little bit of like object-oriented-ish programming in Lua as I go through with this. So let's actually just go ahead and get started with the very basics of the Löve2D game engine. Okay, so right here I have the love.load function. This is the namespace you're going to want to override, and when you call the Löve2D game engine on this program here, it's going to start off by calling this function once everything's loaded. So if you want some initialization code inside your game, make sure you call it from love.load here. So let's go ahead and see how this runs. Usually if I would want to run a Lua program, I call like the Lua interpreter just like this. In my case, it's 5.3, not 3.5. I don't know why I keep getting that backwards. But anyway, for the Löve2D game engine, you actually want to use the love command. And we'll go ahead and hit enter. You see it says hello world right here. And then it pops up this cute little window that has nothing on it because we're not drawing anything and we're not updating anything at the moment. So let's fix that. So we're going to do some drawing in Lua. And then we're also going to have some update to keep the state active. So here I'm just going to have it draw a little bit of color first. Let's say we'll have equal parts red and green, and we'll have a lot less blue. And we'll see what that color looks like. And then as for update, we're going to go ahead and define some variable here. And I want to say, I want to go ahead and increment the timer, and if timer is greater than or equal to 10, then timer equals 0. And we're going to go ahead and print the timer value at, we'll say, 2525. So let's go ahead and run this. Right, I accidentally gave it the wrong function name here. Alright, there we go. We have a timer that's spazzing out a little bit, and we have this very ugly background. I am very much so used to hex values to define colors and not percentages out of 1. So let's actually fix some stuff up a little bit here. So the first thing I want to use is dt here in love.update. This will tell us what fraction of a second has passed since the last time we called this. So now we can define some variable like, let's say countdown, and then countdown equals countdown plus dt. Did I really misspell countdown? Oh my god. And then if countdown is greater than or equal to 1, Then we can do all this and set countdown back equal to 0. So this way, this whole timer stuff will only go up once per second. And let's try running that. Yeah, see? And now we have this perfect little timer here, only going up once per second. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? Now that's all fine and dandy, but what if you want to do something a bit more interactive? So I am going to put in a bit more state and some interactivity in this inside the love.update function. Luckily for us, Lua actually makes this very easy to do. Just say if love.keyboard.is down, and we're going to say left. And I think we'll also say, we'll give it a cooldown. So what I want to do here is say, so for this example right here, I want to say if I'm going to hold down the left, then it's going to decrease the timer that's being displayed on the screen. And I'm going to make sure it has a little cooldown, because that way it doesn't actually just completely go off the rails way faster than a human could react. So we're going to go ahead and set cooldown to, like, I don't know, 1/4 of a second here. And then we're going to say timer equals timer -1, and if timer is less than 0, then timer equals like 10 or something, I don't know. So we can get rid of all this. We're going to call this cooldown, because I think it's a much more representative name, especially given this context. Let's see, we don't need all that space. And then let's see, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then we're going to do the same for right. And time equals 0. And let's go ahead and see what this looks like now. Yeah, figures. So apparently in Lua you have else if as one word. It's kind of hard to keep all these languages straight sometimes. Okay, so let's try it. Yeah, so I'm clicking on the keys and it is changing the timer at only a maximum of like once every 1/4 of a second. So that works, that's pretty good. That's how you do keyboard input in the Löve2D game engine. So finally, I'm going to show off like some actual graphics in the game engine. Now, I don't have much creativity at the moment, so I figure let's go ahead and just get a donut of something to spin around the surface. And let's see, we're gonna donutify one of my old videos here. There we go. And we're gonna go ahead and download you. So now we gotta go ahead and put this guy, this little image, into our program. And it's called donut.png. And that's all we gotta do. So we'll just load it up inside the love.load function. And Love makes it really easy to do that. Just call love.graphics.newImage and then give it the file name. And we're gonna go ahead and give it some alpha value, or just be pretty, let's put it in here. So this is gonna be the rotation of our donuts, and we'll see this in action in just a minute. So I'm gonna get rid of all the cooldown stuff. And we're gonna say, when you update it, if it's left, then alpha equals alpha minus, we're gonna go with DT, and then we'll find some like multiplication modifier at some point. And then if it's right, then you're gonna increase alpha. And let's go ahead and draw this donut. What I'm gonna say is draw a donut. We're gonna draw it probably at 100, 100. Now the next two parameters are the scale. So we want to just multiply by 1 scale. It's nothing too fancy. No, wait, sorry. We put alpha and then the scale, and then we can put some sort of offset, and I'll get to that in a moment. But first, let's check out how it works. Alright, so we got a pretty big donut, and when we go to turn it, it turns by the upper left corner right here, so let's actually put that turning point, the turning offset, in the center. And if I remember correctly, I think the donuts are 600 by 600 pixels, so I'm going to say half of that, so 300, 300, and let's try it again. Yeah, there we go. Turns perfectly. And let's see if I can put it closer to the center of this thing here. But we don't know how big exactly the window is going to be when we spawn it in Löve2D. So let's go ahead and set a default for that. So we're going to go ahead and start with love.window.setMode. And let's give it 800 by 800. So we're going to put the donuts in 400, 400 to center it perfectly. And there we go. We have a little donut, and by holding down the arrow keys, we can actually spin it and get the mouse out of the way. Spin it in either direction we want. That's pretty cool. Okay, hopefully you enjoyed this short little video about the Löve2D game engine in the Lua programming language. If you did, please consider giving me a like, share, comment, subscribe, follow me on social media, or you can also click the notification bell so that way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. If there are any other technologies or paradigms or anything you want me to look into on this channel, just leave a comment down below or contact me or just let me know, because I'm always down to get new ideas from viewers for future videos. That's all I really have to say, so thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week.